Peace, love, blessings, and honor to everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm your co-host, Ize Redd.
And I'm your co-host, Reality Soldier, and we are
Garvey's
Garvey's
Ghost
Ghost
in the spectrum of roots.
roots.
Oh man, we
Yeah,
just sound like
man.
some professionals up in here.
Yeah, so welcome and greetings, everyone. Today's guest is musician and producer Dougie Conscious. Greetings, Dougie. How you doing?
All good, man. All
Nice
good.
to have you here.
Let's not play it down now. This guy has been doing it consistently for a number of years.
Yeah.
So we're stoked that you're our first guest. I'm
Absolutely.
really
No
happy.
worries, man. Glad to be here.
Capped.
Thank you,
Capped.
brother. Thank
So
you.
what's it been, like 30 years?
89 was my first tune,
Okay.
so
All right, well, before we even get into that,
You can
let's
add it
just
all up.
rewind and go back to the beginning kind of
Okay.
thing. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
give us a bit of your history and, like where you grew up and
Okay.
that kind of vibe.
well, basically, I was born in Dalston
Okay.
in a hospital called the German Hospital,
What?
which I
heard about
don't
that.
think exists anymore.
Nah.
Okay.
The actual square that it was on, they based EastEnders on it, apparently back in the day.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, the actual square, Albert Square, was based on this square, just behind
Do
Graham Road.
you remember the name of the square?
I can't remember the name.
I gotta ask though.
Go on.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Afraid not. I don't know why it's called the German Hospital, but it was.
Yeah, maybe there was lots of germs. Anyway,
You never know.
Yeah.
Probably. But yeah, I was born 1964,
Wow.
Dalston, which is 59 years ago.
young
Long time.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, born in Dalston and really grew up in Stoke Newton.
Okay.
Big family, small family.
Yeah, pretty big. Got one brother, two sisters. You know what I mean? Yeah, pretty big.
What, typical two up, two down kind of vibes?
We used to live in a council flat in,
Okay.
originally, a place called Nesbitt House,
Yeah, I remember
Oh, I know.
Nesbitt.
which is in Homerton High Road.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And from there, I think we went to a place called Binion House, which is in Milton Grove, Shakespeare Walk,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
just in at Stoke Newton.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Allen Road. Yeah, just like a basic council estate.
Okay.
So you were where were you in the order or the pecking order of the
I
siblings?
was second.
Oh,
My brother's older, then it's me, then it's my two sisters.
right. The reason I asked that because the eldest one doesn't normally get bullied.
yeah.
If you're the second or third, you getting it.
Yeah. The eldest and the
Yeah.
youngest.
You definitely get it. When you used to have enough, because we used to have like to share a bedroom with my brother,
Right.
sort of thing. So yeah, he decided which posters to go on the wall.
Right.
So what did mum and dad do?
Well, my mum was like, she used to be a home help. She used
Okay.
to work in the old people's homes, help people
Right,
out,
right.
things like that. My dad used to work down the city. He was like a messenger.
Okay.
I'm not sure what he did, but he used to work in the city, delivering stuff for all these stockbrokers and all that kind of
Right,
thing.
right.
You know what I mean?
But for the name or the description or the title, if he was working in the city and he was a stockbroker,
He was doing well.
you might have
I
had a
want to be in
different
Hackney. Let's be realistic. You know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, it was just a basic council estate, and that's how I got up really in
So
Stoke Newton.
what was school like for you?
Well, school was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I went to Grassmere Primary School,
Okay.
which is in Albion Road.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I went there. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And what about secondary school?
Secondary school is a different ballgame, isn't it? By that time, you sort of grow up.
Yeah.
That's where you get all your kind of influences, and you know what I'm saying.
What influenced you in secondary school?
Well, basically, them days it was a lot of reggae, wasn't it? Because where I grew up in Hackney, was my neighbours were Jamaican. Well, the
Right.
kids weren't. Obviously, the kids weren't.
Yeah.
Right.
I sort of grew up with the kids of the first wave.
First wave, yes.
Or
You know what I mean? Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I used to go around my mate's house, and his old man used to have the stereo in the corner, the old big fucking valve,
Graham.
and the sofas with all the plastic on it.
Ah, yes, yes.
Picture of Jesus.
Yeah, yes.
The
And
white
you can't go
Jesus.
and we used to have to sneak in there because his mum find out you go ape shit.
Yeah. That's a West Indian front room.
You can't go in the front room, mate.
Yeah.
See all the plastic. Go, what's the plastic for? To stop it getting dirty. I thought, wow. So yeah, so we just go in there. And like I say, his old man used to have a lot of Scar records, Blue Beat, that kind of stuff.
So you really embraced the Windrush culture when it was.
Well,
like,
I didn't know nothing different. I didn't know no different. I just know I grew up in a council estate, and they were my neighbours. I didn't know. I didn't really know about Windrush or any of these sort of things.
well, not
just got
trying to
on
be
with it.
funny, but the same thing. There was a lot of people that didn't accept the way you accepted. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well, I think if you grew up as a kid, you know no different.
Yeah.
It's only
absolutely.
It's only like say it's only when you went to secondary school, then these things started coming up. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of the white kids all turned punk rockers,
Right.
and so the kids I used to grow up with, as like say that age, by the time I got to 18, 19, they kind of went one way. I went to punk and all that stuff. Even though I was still into reggae, that's when you notice things, our divides happen.
Yes.
You don't realise it when you're a kid.
Yeah.
It's only when you grow up now you realise certain things the way they are.
That's when you're aware of your identity.
definitely.
And you sort of, But going back to early school and primary and stuff, were there any notable teachers or influence? Who's the first teacher that you remember in primary school? Do you remember any of them?
Most of the teachers, I only remember.
Or you hated them all?
The only reason I remember the ones is because I didn't like them. Probably the good ones. I don't think there was that many good ones, but, you know.
Really?
I mean, most of the time, you remember people you don't like, didn't you?
Right.
I suppose, and the people that was all right to you.
Yeah, the people that were horrible to you.
The people that stick in your mind is the ones, the teachers.
So secondary school was what?
Brook House.
Brook House, okay.
What else?
Wow.
Brook House.
That used to be on the roundabout, innit? Where the college
It's
is
still
now,
there now, but it's a college now, but yeah.
B6.
B6, yeah.
It was either that or either Hackney Downs, Upton House or Brook House.
Yeah.
For some reason I went Brook House. I think it's because my brother went there before me. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what was the musical scene in Brook House? Was there a sound system vibes and...
Yeah, definitely. Even if they had a football team, all the kids in the football team was all into... Because at the time, Rasta was the in thing.
Right.
Reggae was king.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I used to walk from my house in Cowper Road, up Palatine Road. First shop was Third World.
Okay.
All right,
The little
of course.
one.
Yeah.
Then I walked... You remember that one? Third World, next to the chip shop?
Yeah.
I always remember walking past there and seeing the pictures of the LP covers, like Big Youth. And I always remember seeing his one where he had all these red, gold and green teeth.
Yeah.
He was like that, and he like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always used to think, fucking hell, what a cover.
Yeah.
It's like,
They did have some iconic
yeah,
covers.
some proper
man.
covers, man.
How many times do you buy a record just for the cover?
Exactly. And then you look at the back and you see all these names of the people that played on it. You know what I'm saying? That was a good thing about buying a record.
Yes.
You could look in the back, who played the drummers, who played the
Yeah.
guitar, where was it mixed, where was it this?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which you don't seem to get too much nowadays with the downloads and all that.
Nah, it's a
Yeah.
bit missing, man.
So Dougie, what sound systems came out of Brook House School?
There was loads, wasn't it? Emperor's Hi-Fi,
Okay.
Tipper's, no, I'm not sure about Tipper's Hi-Fi, KP, there was loads of different sounds.
Okay.
Sir George,
Okay, right, yeah.
you know what I mean? Because I grew up in Stoke Newton. My mate Wendell, his brother used to have a sound, Tipper's Hi-Fi,
Okay.
and another sound called KP.
Okay.
And he used to have like blues dances in his yard.
Right.
You know what I mean? You pay like 20 pence to get in or whatever.
Right,
The
right.
basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And it was proper fucking, if you're not used to it, I took my bird there. Right, you know what I mean? She'd never been to any like black event or anything
All right,
like that.
okay.
And after she had to leave, the bass killed her off.
All right.
They used to have an 18-inch speaker box in a room no bigger than this,
Yeah.
in a corner.
Yeah.
And if you're not used to that shit,
Yeah.
it can fuck you up.
Freak you out.
It's a problem.
Seriously, I mean, when I first started going, I thought, fucking that bass, it just fucks you up.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? I see people fainting in dances and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. The
You know,
heat
so
and
I remember
everything.
taking it and go, oh, I can't take it. What's wrong? I said, the bass is fucking fucking hell. So
And this would have been what, the 70s then?
Yeah, probably, late
70s, early
70s, early 80s,
Yeah.
that was, yeah.
So this is the time when the fashion was going into like Gabici and
Oh, yeah,
Farrah's and
this is like when,
that whole thing.
well, again, in the 70s, the whole Jamaican was really,
The
was like,
influence.
it was like, how would you say, Black Power was the influence.
Right.
Rasta, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Dreadlocks. Then it kind of drifted, and it went to the dance hall, and it was more like about fucking how many gold chains you got, gold teeth. You know what I mean? Burberry Max,
Yeah.
crocodile skin shoes,
Ah, yes.
all that kind of
course.
stuff. It kind of went from consciousness to like materialness, really, when you
Yeah.
think about
Well,
it.
from conscious to unconscious.
Yeah.
Innit? Slackness and all kind of thing there.
Yeah, really, which is
Mogging
yeah.
and them thing there.
Yeah.
And then after that, obviously, there all the young guys who I used to know, who was into reggae and dub in the 70s, was now into Shalimar.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And going down Hackney Road. And
Jericho.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Onyx chains with big initials on it and all that.
Yeah.
Used to get them from Dalston next to the train station.
Yeah, man.
Railway arm. Remember the railway arm? Used to
I
be
walked
little
past there
jewelers there.
yesterday, but the jewelry shop's gone now,
It's all
isn't it?
gone,
It's
mate.
changed down there, proper.
It's all changed. It's like I don't know what. It's like Knightsbridge now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit. What kind of kid were you?
I was alright, but I was a bit naughty. You know, I used to like fire. Believe it
Oh,
or not.
really?
I used, the
Pyromaniac up in here.
I think I was a bit one. We used to. I used to buy. You remember lighter fuel?
Yeah.
The little yellow cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our idea was fun. We used to go to the shop and buy like a couple of them and just set fire to things.
Oh, the things you could do back in the day.
Sniz this on by now.
Crazy, really, when you think about it now. But I don't know. I was fascinated by fire. I used to love bonfire night and all that stuff.
So-
I remember a funny story. You heard this one when I was a young kid, because we used to play with like fire and matches. Swan Vestas. Remember Swan Vestas?
Yes, pinked up.
I remember walking down. I think it was Milton Road. I see this big petrol can, and like an idiot, I thought, "Oh, I wonder what happens if I throw a match down it."
Stop it.
Right, now hear the joke now. So I'm looking in this petrol can, and I fucking threw a match in it. It went,
No.
and it burnt all my hair off.
No.
Yeah, right. It burnt off my eyebrows.
No.
I went home. I thought, fuck, what am I going to tell my dad? He's going to go ape shit. I said, oh, some kids threw a firework at me. Right? He went, well, right, get in the car, let's go and fucking find them. I went, shit. So I'm driving around Stoke Newton trying to find these kids that didn't exist. You know what I mean? And even to this day now, he still laughs about it, you know what I mean?
Classic.
But at the time,
You came clean.
I did, yeah, 50 years later. But he knew at the time, he thought, it's fishy here, you know what I mean? Right. But I didn't want to admit that I was going around doing stupid things like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, when we was that young, there was things like bomb sites.
Yeah.
Remember, all after the war.
Yeah.
Most of the place, like I used to go Barrett's Grove down Stoke Newton. It was like it was just like a loads of old houses.
Yes.
That was derelict, and we used to just go in there.
I
you know what
spent
I mean?
a lot of time in old
Definitely,
houses.
Old houses. Then you could do it, and like I say, it was great fun.
Yeah.
Search
you know what I'm
around
saying?
and all
Going
kinds of
old
stuff.
houses. Yeah, I mean,
Set them on fire.
yeah. It ain't like it is today. You used to go up in the morning, and that was it. You never used to stay indoors. You used to go out.
Oh, wow. All
You know,
day
all
long.
day long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all you heard was dinner, or something. And someone around the flats would know who you were and tell you, your mum's calling you or whatever.
Yes.
You know, we used to play around the flats on the roofs. You know what I mean? On nicking bikes, things like that.
Dougie was a little rebel, yeah?
It's fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Going on a
real.
motorbike when you're like,
Well, we didn't have
12.
PlayStations and all that back in the day,
No,
did we?
no
So we had to make
PlayStations.
our own fun,
We
innit?
didn't even have TV. I remember this first time I see a colour TV.
Yes.
I remember my mates there. So they had, I think, one of them, the Big Match. Remember Big Match?
Mm-hmm.
I said, fuck me, it's green.
Green grass.
Green grass.
Who would have known?
It's like, wow. But when you're used to them little black and whites, the first guy in the flats had a colour TV. Everyone was going around and going, fucking look at that. Or even the first time someone got a phone in their house.
Yeah.
Because that was a rarity.
Luxury.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, and everyone's got phones now, could connect to it. But them days, you didn't have a phone.
Mate.
Literally. And they used to put a lock on the phone as well, so they
Yeah.
couldn't phone people.
But it was also like a community service because if
Yeah.
something happened, if there was an emergency,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you'd go
definitely.
around to the person
Yeah.
who's got the phone and
Yeah.
they're like that part of the
Yeah,
community,
definitely.
like help.
Yeah, so it's different. And to be honest, I don't know, I can't compare it because I'm not growing up in this era as a kid. But, you know, we used to have a good childhood. You know, a lot less restrictions, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, we were relatively poor compared to, say, your average child nowadays. Were you aware of being sort of deprived?
No, not really. All I know is I got my dinner, and that was it. I got 50p a week pocket money.
Yep.
And that was it. I didn't really want for no. I didn't really care about
All right, here's a question for you.
flash things or whatever.
Dandy or Beano?
I like, what's Desperate Dan?
Desperate Dan. It was Beano, yeah.
Yeah, Beano, innit? And Keo Kate, was it?
Yeah.
All them ones.
Billy
Backstreet
Whiz.
Kids.
Billy Whiz, man, he's a
Billy Whiz.
that's speed, man. Isn't it?
Come on now.
Speed, innit? Billy Whiz a speedhead, man.
I think it was Dandy.
Or
Oh,
one
was
of
that
them ones.
Dandy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Backstreet
that's a good-
Kids was Beano,
Backstreet
innit?
Kid, Plug,
Right.
the ugly
Plug,
one, innit?
Yeah. Politically incorrect nowadays.
But I used to like
Absolutely.
Marvel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I used to
I used
love
to like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was my- that was the one
I used to like Hulk.
Master of Kung Fu.
I don't know why, but Hulk cause no one could fuck with the Hulk, man.
Yeah.
He was the baddest.
So misunderstood.
You couldn't fuck with the Hulk, man.
Yeah.
Just do you? You can't kill him. He's too strong.
Yeah.
The Hulk was the it.
Get
And then-
green on your
and
ass.
then
We
his
used to go
rel-
down Berwick Street, and there used to be a record, a comic shop that we used to frequent, and we used to go in there and nick loads of comics, man. Like, grab a whole walk down the shop. Berwick Street, man, up West End. Because like when you was a kid in them days, we used to get a thing called Red Bus Rover.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Remember that?
Which means you
Little
can get on a
ticket.
bus, you pay like 50p,
Yeah,
and all day long
travel
you can
all
go on a
day.
bus
All
anywhere.
day.
So we used to hit all the museums,
Yeah.
West End, you know what I mean,
That's how you
everywhere.
explore your city, man. Really.
Yeah.
Red Bus
Red
Road.
Bus Road.
Red
We used to
Bus
bunk
Rover,
at school
man.
and buy them, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
go anywhere. Wicked times.
Ain't it?
All right, so moving forward a little bit. So we mentioned the 70s and the prevailing culture and
Yeah.
fashions and everything. Any sort of fashion faux pas or dodgy. Have we got any dodgy images of?
Oh,
of
my mum's got
Dougie
loads, man.
Yeah?
It looks like I've got a Roman helmet on. I used to get the fucking bowl on your head and cut round it.
Yeah, we had one of those.
Fucking hell. My mum's
So-
got some terrible pictures
So
of
the
me, mate.
flares and the platforms.
Flares, Lionel Blair's we used to call them.
Yeah,
Remember
the
Lionel Blair?
Lionels, the Lionels. Yeah, yeah.
We had a Lionel's in it. Lionel Blair's, big waistband, big waistbands up there, 6 pockets down the side.
Ah, yeah.
That was more when I was a bit later,
Right.
in the secondary school. But as a teenager, I was a young kid.
Tank tops and
Tank
flowered
tops, man.
shirts.
Tank tops and big shirts
And
with a big collar out
Shermans
here.
and, yeah.
Platform shoes like Gary Glitter.
Stop it.
And I should have mentioned Gary Glitter.
No,
But the
you
reality
shouldn't.
was, he was a top man
He
in the
was,
days. Gary
yeah,
Glitter,
yeah.
T-Rex. You know what I mean? Slade.
Shawadi Wadi, all of them. Yeah.
Shawadi Wadi.
Alvin Stardust.
Elvin Stardust.
Cuckoo.
Fucking hell, what a lot of
ELO, mate.
But you know
ELO.
what? It's funny how you sort of you have those as a backdrop to your life.
Yeah.
You're exposed to all of that, but then on the other hand, you've got like Prince Jasper and Iroy
Yeah.
beefing and all this kind
Yeah,
of.
definitely.
It was such a wide
It
spectrum.
was, but that
of-
was never in the mainstream. If you wanted
yeah.
to...
no,
That's
but I'm
right.
saying that's what
Yeah.
you were living.
Yeah,
that
that's
was your
what,
experience.
yeah, definitely.
The radio at breakfast time, you're going to hear all the mainstream stuff, but then the night time when you go to your brethren's dance or your
Or Tony
Yeah.
Williams on a,
Well,
on a
there
Sunday.
was
on a
two.
Sunday, but it's like once
Yeah,
a week, innit?
yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't, you know what I mean?
Saturday
Brethren,
night-
man used to tape them sessions
Yeah,
and
right,
listen
come
to it
on.
in school all week.
And-
I used to be on my cassette. No,
Trying to
top
dodge
10.
the adverts.
The top 10. Pause button was on. Have a quick...
Yeah.
Who was before Tony? Was it Steve Bernard?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm not
Steve
sure.
Bernard.
All I know is it was Rodigan
On
Saturday
LWR.
night, and on Sunday, the Rice and Pea show, 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
Tony
yeah.
Williams.
You would miss it.
Wouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
I'll be there with my cassette. They used to always do a top 10. Tyler Williams did a top 10, didn't he?
Yeah.
Top 10 hits. Dun, dun, dun. Quick, there you go. Get all the top 10.
But you always had the sense that it was sort of like a subculture. It wasn't the mainstream.
no, it was
but
never
you were
mainstream.
buying into something. And
The
you
first time I heard mainstream reggae,
right.
Rasta Ozzy from up the hill.
Ah,
Pluto.
Pluto.
Want to catch Buddy and Grocery Bill.
Yeah.
That's the first time I heard
Such a clever song. I've
Innit?
always liked that song.
reggae
Yeah.
Yeah.
from like Jamaica on the radio.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With that tune.
Yeah.
And I always remember that tune. Rasta Ozzy from up the hill. Check these grocery
I think
bill.
Millie was the first one.
But I was before that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
I was just being born. When
Yeah.
she come? 62, 63?
Around about that.
I
sort
was
of
born in
time.
64, so...
But it had legs. I mean, it
No,
was
it-
popular for a lot of years.
Oh, definitely. They milked that tune forever.
Yeah.
Not only that, then you had... Out of that became people like Judge Dredd. Remember Judge Dredd?
Ah, yeah.
Who basically was Bunny Lee was the original for him.
Really?
Of course he was. He saw Prince Buster do all them tunes. Big Five.
Yes. that's
Big
right.
One.
Yeah.
10 Commandments of Man.
there
They
you
remember
go.
all the wicked tunes on
Yeah,
Blue
yeah.
Beat.
Judge
And he thought,
Dredd.
hang on, we'll get a white guy to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, crossover, makes
Yeah,
it make
yeah.
it like Eminem or Elvis or whatever.
Exactly.
He ain't stupid.
No, that was a
So you
smart-
get big Judge Dredd now to sing.
that was
Was
a
it
fruit
Big
move.
Five?
Yeah,
Whoop-higher, pussy catch a fire. Little boy blue on the burning deck, playing the game of cricket.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah, we
So
loved that.
basically, it was that Slim Smith tune, wasn't it? My Conversation.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Did it,
Yeah.
did it. With maybe some strings put on, overdubbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you talk to Bunny Lee, he said they was done in Chalk Farm Studio.
Right.
All them John Holt tunes that come in the charts.
Oh,
Yeah, the
beautiful.
Trojans.
Young,
Yeah.
Gifted and Black, all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
tunes that come out. You know what I mean?
But wasn't Jimmy Cliff in the charts before Pluto, though?
I think he was, but I think he was singing more like Many Rivers to Cross.
Yeah, but you can get it if you really want, and all them tunes busting the charts as
Yeah,
well.
maybe. But my
Young,
first one
Gifted and
was
Black, all them
Rasta
tunes,
Ozzy.
you know?
Up the hill, mate. Always that one is always. I remember going around the flats and hearing it. And fucking, it was a reggae tune on the radio. But yeah, they was Young, Gifted and Black, and like you say, you can get it if you really want it.
All right.
But they come with the millies, I think. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
just around the 60s, they're 60s
Yeah.
sort of thing.
All right. So we're gonna have a little break now. When we come back, we're going to talk about later teenage years, and we'll
Okay.
pick up from
Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool. So staying on the teenage years and the development of young Mr. Douglas Conscious. I know that when I was a kid, it was sort of, yes, of course, it was reggae music, Bob Marley. It was definitely Bruce Lee and
Bruce
all
Lee.
these sorts of stuff. So how did that sort of wider culture for young people, how did that impact you? Do you
Oh,
come
definitely
through?
impact. You know what I mean?
What'd you get up
Talk
to?
about Bruce Lee. We used to go late night movies, or even up the Astra. Remember the Astra Cinema?
I used to go to the Odeon on Holloway Road.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
that's too far from me.
Right.
For me, I had the Rio Cinema.
Yes, yes.
ABC, or no, the Odeon at Dalston, which was like a 4 cinema complex.
Yeah.
Right.
Then we have to have the Rio,
Right.
Yeah.
and then we used to have the Astra.
Near the police station.
Did you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Astra was
police
there. It's
station,
now
yeah.
I turned into a mosque, but that was the
Oh,
original
yes.
flea pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can go in there all day long and watch movies like Kung Fu.
Oh, no. Did you used to have a problem? Because we used to go with the big releases at the big cinemas. We used to get chased out all the time. But we actually formed a collective called
Okay.
the PBIA.
Okay.
Yeah, the Professional Bunking In
Yeah,
Association.
we used to do that at bunking in.
And but we discovered, because we used to do karate and stuff like that, we went down to West End and we discovered that some of the Chinese restaurants had a
Yes.
cinema downstairs,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there was
yeah.
no age limit.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we'd go in there and watch movies all day. We would be sitting there like, they're not going to throw us out.
No, they're not.
And see like little mafia and.
You never come check out man for take me.
No, you was busy that day in your short pants. So what'd you get up to? You used to go late night and stuff.
Well,
Did you ever do a karate because everybody else was?
everyone was doing karate.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody used to just bowl out in the cinema. If it was late night, thinking they're Bruce Lee in it, doing, that's all that reggae dancing come from.
Yeah, yeah.
Praying
Skanking,
mantis.
yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're going to pray a mantis, and you go shaka, and
Innit?
they're straight from Kung Fu.
Of course.
Drunken Master, Silver Fox.
So
all them
think
guys.
about that as a young person. It's not even about race. It's a young Londoner, what you were
Yeah.
exposed to in the 70s. It was priceless.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
A lot of influences, especially Kung Fu movies. You know what I mean? And the thing about the age thing was that if you went to the Astra in the daytime,
All right.
they still show Kung Fu movies. Then anyone can go in. It's only really the late night ones that was hard.
Right.
Because obviously you had to be 18 by that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But like you say, you used to give one man pay to get in, and he used to go back in the fire escape, innit? And undo the doors, and he used to be like, quick, get in.
I've got so
and
many
hopefully the
tales.
bouncer didn't get
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
And once you're in there, you can just sit in the dark, innit? And you're all right, you know what I'm saying? You know, but yeah, I saw loads of, even horror movies, things like fucking Jaws. And I remember going to see Jaws, and I didn't want to get in the bath after seeing that.
Do you remember seeing The Exorcist?
Yeah.
Wow.
All the talk about The Exorcist was that you go and see The Exorcist, you might die of a heart attack.
Yeah.
You never know.
I made my son watch that a couple of years ago, and he said it's rubbish. I said, what do you mean? He said it's so fake. Look at all that sick.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, but back in the day, mate,
That was the technology.
that film shit me right up.
Yeah, that was-
It's not like because it's all about the devil business, and the back of your mind because all the religious stuff and
Yes,
the God
of
and
course.
the devil, fucking devil might be real. You know what I mean? 'Cause I can get possessed.
Yeah.
And that fucked me up, definitely. Shit me up, man. Proper going home at night, fucking hell, going to bed, all exorcist.
Yeah.
That was a scary film, even though now it don't seem so scary. Even zombie films,
Right.
Dawn of the Dead and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You watch them now, it's just like, it's funny. But at the time, it was pretty scary, you know?
Pretty scary
Alien,
stuff.
you
Yeah.
think about your stomach,
Innit?
fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in your early teenage years, what did you really want to do? What
I didn't
was
really
your
want. I
ambitions?
didn't know what I wanted to be. If I'll be totally honest, you know what I mean.
Okay.
I never had no plan. I used to go to school and used to go careers office, innit?
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to be when you leave? I don't know. I ain't got a clue.
No, that's like me.
Wasn't
be
really
honest-
considering it at the time.
No, I didn't consider anything. I didn't know what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? I had no real qualifications. I was pretty shit at school. I left school before I took any exams.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think I took one and I just flopped it. I'd just rather look out the window in this class than try and learn anything. I don't know. I never I didn't mind going to school, but I never liked the fucking lessons.
Were you one of those young people that?
Always in referral.
Yeah. Did you? I mean, a lot of people would say I only went to school to see my mates and for PE.
Well, I only went to school because I had to, because I didn't. My dad would get in trouble,
right,
wouldn't
Kick your ass.
it? Basically, you know what I mean? That was it. I didn't want to go fucking. Who wanted to go to school? It's boring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only good time was if you had like music lesson or something like that,
Right.
or art where you could fuck about. The art teacher was like a hippie, innit? Yeah, man, do what you want, man. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Paint any old bollocks, innit? On a fucking
So you had a school
man.
where music class or music lessons was viable. It wasn't viable in my school because we didn't like the music teacher at all.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah, music was funny at school.
It was
all
funny, but again-
Beethoven and Bach, innit?
With the influences of reggae, I mean, kids used to bring melodicas in my school. I think they're Augustus Pablo.
Yeah.
And, like
Okay.
play it in the playground at Tuck Chop.
So what did mum and dad play at home?
Not a lot, really, just basic pop music. My dad was into military shit. I don't know why.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
bizarre.
interesting.
he was always into army. Like he used to like watching war films and all that,
Right, okay.
collecting medals and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't
Hence
know.
the fatigues today.
Well, it's just, yeah, the old Rambo.
Camouflage
old man,
trousers
you know
for
what I mean?
those listening.
But I was never into that. I don't know. I always liked music, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
when I left school, I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Right.
And you know what I mean? I just did tons of menial kind of jobs, like working in Sainsbury's.
Right.
You know what I mean? Building sites, digging, you know, the usual kind of thing that if you ain't got no real qualifications.
Right. So you left school, didn't know at all
I
what
didn't
you
have a
wanted
clue
to
what
do.
I was going to do.
What was your first job then when you came in?
My first job, my mum, you know, the big joke was I left school, I don't know, just before the exams, and I thought, yeah, I ain't going to do nothing for a year or whatever. And my mum got me a job in Sainsbury's in about the first fucking week.
She said, that's
you
what
got to
you
do it,
think.
you got to do it, you got to do it. Fucking hell. So 1 week after that school, I got a job in fucking Sainsbury's in Dalston.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wishing you were back at school.
I only lasted there a year because we used to nick all the meat out of Butcher's
Stop,
room,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Philip Steak.
okay.
You know, we used to go to a guy who saw in a pub down Church Street, and we used to sell him fucking lumps of steak for like a quarter the price.
Wow.
Get the money, then go and buy a draw from fucking Sandra Road.
Yeah, of course. Front
Or
line
Johnson's
people.
Caff. Remember Johnson's Caff?
Yeah.
So, what do you think your mum and dad's ambitions for you would have been?
Oh, they weren't happy the way I turned out. In fact, when I used to go to Brookhouse, when I got to the 4th year, they basically said, we're taking you out of that school because they thought it was the school that was failing me.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right, so I went from Brookhouse, which is Hackney, and they sent me to a school called Islington Green,
Yeah.
which is like up the Angel,
Yeah.
up that
Street.
road.
Yeah.
And the contrast was totally and utterly different. This is
Yeah.
when I got into punk.
Okay.
Because in Brookhouse now, it was more black people.
Reggae
and
So it's
yeah.
more reggae related.
Yeah.
Islington Green now, it was mostly white people.
Right.
And not only real poor people, it was like middle class white
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They was all into this punk shit. You
And
know
there
what
was-
I'm saying?
yeah, and
Pistols and all that. And I kind of
Which was kind of the reggae vibe, just on a different
Yeah.
scale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's still anarchistic kind
Yeah,
of thing.
it's
You
fuck
know,
the
fight
government,
against
innit?
the establishment. You know
But
what I mean?
it was way before the sort of the races sort of came together, wasn't it? It
Well, yeah,
preceded
well,
that
I think there's
slightly.
always been racist, even in them days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People like National Front. I mean, if you went to the football, for instance, back in the 70s, you get National Front would stand outside of the
Yeah,
stall.
with leaflets. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like fucking handing out leaflets to you as you're
Yeah.
going in.
Yeah, I remember.
Real.
They infiltrated everywhere, politics, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so I always remember when Roots come out. Remember Roots, the
Yeah,
film?
man.
I used to go to Brookhouse, and I never knew nothing about no slavery or fuck all. And all of a sudden, some of my black mates go, "Oh, you
Start
fucking
chasing
white,
you.
fucking hell, slave master." And I go, "What you on about?" And they used to fucking
Yeah.
have a go at me.
It's not me what's done it.
You know what I mean? I just think, fucking
No,
hell.
can't be
I remember
free.
watching Roots and thinking, fuck, I've got to go to school tomorrow. Fucking hell, cut the Kenty. Ain't funny, man. Chicken George and there's this white guy going, psh,
Ain't it?
psh, and I'm going, fucking hell.
Did you say to him, "Come on, Dreads, play the tune, man"?
But that for me, that was like fucking hell, man. It was an awakening, but for me, it's
Yeah.
shit awakening.
And it,
Because
for
now
real.
I'm the fucking depressing. You know
I
what
remember
mean?
that in school as well,
Yeah.
man.
And
The
then
whole atmosphere in school
Mate,
changed.
Roots just changed
You know what I
everything.
mean?
It did.
It did.
Because at school, no one taught anything about slavery or Marcus Garvey or any of this
No,
stuff.
no.
Anything.
Well, we was talking about that because of the same music. The
Yeah.
music was bringing that into our life.
yeah, but
Yes.
the curriculum
Yeah.
wasn't in the
Yeah.
curriculum.
No,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
for real,
saying about
ain't it?
The teacher said, well, you white people deal with slavery. No one told us that until
Ain't it?
Roots come out. And it's like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
That was like,
But it shows how your chosen vocation, music, is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because it educated a whole generation of people on both sides.
yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about the established you and your music career and how
Okay.
it started and what inspired you to become.
How you became a giant in your field.
Yeah.
Yes, giant. Basically, I wanted to start producing when I first started realising that you could do it.
All right. Were
You
you
know what I
playing
mean?
an instrument at this time?
Not
Playing any
re- I mean,
bands?
I mean, when I was younger, I used to play guitar like punk stuff. I used to like doing that. So I could play a bit of guitar, but apart from that, I had no real idea of how to make a tune or,
Right.
you know, the first time I knew I could actually do it and it was possible was when I went round a guy called Nick Manasseh's house.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he used to live in near Ridley Road.
Right.
At the back of Ridley Road, he had a Bible shop. Behind there, he used to have a house. And I was taken there by a friend of mine called Postman Tony, or Tony Benji, who was like a big shakarite back in the day. And he knew Nick, and obviously I'd seen Nick in the dance, gone to see him a couple of times. I went there with my mate Little John, who basically told me there's this new dub sound and they're white guys, and I was like,
Yeah.
what? Fucking, I was like, what, really?
And it,
Because I was shocked because white people didn't really go to reggae dances.
It wasn't a regular.
You would get the one or twos, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and a few white girls, but that was it, really. You know what I'm saying? So to hear that it was a sound system that, and a lot of the crowd was like, I was like intrigued. So I remember he took me. This must have been about 1985 or 86, up to Muswell Hill.
Monster.
Before you get into that, though,
Yeah.
you mentioned the fact that, you know, it was sort of a predominantly white sort of, you know, the producer or whoever was delivering the vibes was white and the crowd. So what did you feel like as being like the only white guy when you went to some of these dances full of black people?
It was
How
a bit
did you
scary,
feel?
to be honest with you. I'm not
Really?
going to lie to you. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Sometimes they won't even let you in.
Right.
Members only, members only.
Police.
I think you're on informal or some bollocks.
Okay, yeah.
What you did, if you went with a few of your mates, then you was all right. You stand in the corner and behave yourself, you know what I mean?
Right.
Don't get too leery or whatever.
Right,
because
right.
Obviously, you know what I mean? It's always referred to like this. It's like taking your black mate down to football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to
In
get
them
a lot.
times.
Most of the people was cool, but you're always going to get a few wankers who go, fucking hell, you bringing black people here. You know what I mean? The same when you went to these like cubies or something like that.
Yeah.
And all right, most people was all right, but you always got to get the exceptions.
Right.
You know what I mean? White man, come here, bro. White man, parkhead. So, you know what I mean? So I sort of got it from both sides, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, walking into record shops, going to M&D Records, you know what I mean, on a
Dalston
Friday
Lane.
night. It's scary shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The place is packed out.
So Muswell Hill now. So this is
Yeah, it's like the
On the
first
map.
time I went with my mate Little John. He turned me onto it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I remember going, and it was Joe Warrior, who again was another
Steve,
white guy,
yeah.
right? And basically Manasseh and at Muswell Hill.
At Monsters Youth Club.
I can't remember. It was the back of Tesco's or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
round
yeah,
the back.
Monster Club.
You remember Monster?
Yeah. We should go there.
So went there and it was like, wow, fucking hell, it was great. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed it. I thought, yeah.
And Steve Jawaria would have had the tubby set them time,
Yeah,
innit?
he had-
Because Keith built his sign and
He
all
had
that.
Keithy Roots on his side. Yeah, Keithy
Okay.
Roots, Blacker. You know the guy called Blacker?
Blacker used to cut with Keith
Yes.
with the dubs, yeah.
They was on the mic for him,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Manasseh had Mandinka.
Okay. The
Right.
same Mandinka.
Same Mandinka who used to go
Magwakana.
Shaka all the time.
Wow.
And he was like Prince Fare's reincarnation.
yeah.
Yeah,
believe.
that's right.
And with a bit of echo.
Yeah.
Instead of going Shaka, he got Mandinka, Rick. He was the original Shaka impersonator.
Right.
Seeing.
But one of the best out of all of them.
Right.
You got a lot nowadays who, you know what I mean? But he was the original copyist. But he was the best. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I went there and then I started getting into this new stuff that was coming out because you got to remember, after about 84, 85, reggae went down the Swanee.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they brought out this new digital shit called Slingting.
Sling
And at the time, I thought it was shit.
Yeah.
It was rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, welcome to this great reggae. It's a fucking keyboard game.
We didn't realise that we were all purists at that time.
That melody is actually a rock melody. That
Yeah.
no, it's a rock melody.
It was, but what
From
happened,
Casio.
what I saw was it just killed reggae.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all these top bands you heard, like Slide Up, Ryan Robbie, Roots Radix, they're finished. They can't compete with a
They
Casio
don't need
keyboard.
drummer again, innit?
Don't need anything. It's just keyboard.
Right.
And that was it. That tune mashed up the place.
I
Really
had a
went.
friend of mine said that he stopped listening to reggae because reggae is now Japanese.
See?
Well, you could say that.
Akai
Yeah.
and
You
Roland.
could say that. You could say that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was, and so.
So you got your hands on some gear, did you?
Well, no.
I mean,
Before that,
let me say that
equipment.
again.
I did get, but that was a bit earlier. We ain't gonna go into that. But anyway, yeah. So like you say, then I got my friend Tony to introduce me to Manasseh, and I went round his house down Dalston.
Right.
And at the time, I was living in Graham Road, so it was literally just walking around the corner. And I went to his bedroom, and he had this little thing called a 4-track, a little machine like that.
Yep.
Like a Tascam or one
It
of
was
them.
an Akai one. It was
Okay.
probably one of the top of the range 4-tracks, but it was still a cassette.
Right.
He had 6 tracks, 4 you could record on, and two effects on it, aux and a delay,
Yeah.
and a reverb. And I remember the first tune he played me, I think it was Can't Touch Ya.
Yeah, okay.
And he was just playing it on the thing, and I said, so you can, I was like, you could be like King Tubby's. Fucking hell. That's when it dawned on me that,
Yeah.
fucking hell, I can actually make a tune here.
Yeah.
There
You know what I mean?
The penny drops.
The penny dropped. And that was
Epiphany.
it, mate. I wanted to be silenced.
Okay.
Ping, Kong, Wallop,
And
chop,
it-
you know what I mean? King Tubby. Remember, you listen to all them LPs, win the World Cup,
Yeah.
Beat Up the Pac-Man, all that. I used to listen to him with my headphones on, smoking weed all day.
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders.
All these mad sounds.
Yeah. But it all come from King Tubby's though.
Yeah, of course. King Tubby was the top man.
The whole thing was like an engineer's wet dream because it gave the engineer that creativity.
Exactly.
They almost became artists, didn't they?
Yeah, of course.
He did
They
become an
became
artist.
celebrities.
Half of them didn't know it either.
Yeah, absolutely.
People like scientists never even knew he was famous over here until a lot of people started going, boy, you're a big star in England, you know, he got his LP, so he didn't even know.
Greensleeves, isn't it?
Right.
It's Django Laws, mate. He's
John
just
Joe,
giving the tapes, isn't it? Sell that. Same as Yellow Man. Yellow Man, I remember an interview, he said, remember that LP, Live at Aces?
Yeah.
All right.
They come out in Greensleeves.
Yeah.
He didn't even know it would even come out.
Yeah.
He just recorded the dances, sell it to Greensleeves, and away you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wild West.
But to me, that was the point where I thought, I want to do something. So at the time, I said to Nick, look, can I hire the studio? And I thought he might say yes. He said, yeah, no problem. And it was like £3 an hour.
Wow.
And all I do is go around there, get his drum machine out, knock up the drums, and I go, do a bass line like this. And he made this tune. I thought, that's wicked, man. You know what I mean? And I said, you know what? And at the time, I was working in a wood factory in the Angel called Anderson's.
Okay.
I was like driving a crane, loading wood and off. And we got made redundant. And my redundancy money was £1,500.
Wow.
And at the time, that was quite a lot of money. And I said, you know what? I'm going to put out a record.
Yeah.
And that was it. I invested about £700 of that into putting out his first record called Stepping Time.
Right.
Okay.
That I put on a single and pressed 1,000 copies. I must have sold about 200 at the time. You know what I mean? But that's what, you know,
Started it off.
started the ball rolling.
It was bitten.
Yeah. Then the next one was when I went back to Nick again. I said, that first tune, Can't Touch Ya.
Yeah.
I said, I want to put that out as well. And he's going, oh, the quality's not good. It's not good because Nick was like a good producer and he worked in big studios.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was like his bedroom thing. Really was just like a demo thing.
Yeah.
He never thought to really release anything of it. I don't think.
Yeah.
So when I said, like, I want to release that, and I've already released Stepping Time, he goes, oh, okay, no problem. And I released that, and that was a
That's the first tune I bought off you in Camden Market, Doug.
down Camden, isn't it?
First time I met you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, long time ago.
A brethren said to me, you want to buy a Dub? Because Dub wasn't really selling them. So I was go and check Dougie in Camden Market. I was like, really? Who's that Dougie?
Yeah.
Went down there and meet this white guy selling Dub. I was like, what? First tune I bought, Ted Astley, Can't Touch Ya.
Yeah.
Big tune.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw loads of them. I mean, the thing was, that's where it sort of came back. Camden was the main focus because you had Flash Forward Records, which was like basically Revive place, but like all Revive was like heavyweight, Gustus Pablo, Yabby U, Lee Perry, all the heavy tunes that Shaka would run. You know what I mean? And that's the way it all kind of started. I mean, that's used to play in Camden all the time because he was from Camden.
Right.
So that whole scene kind of grew from there. I thought, you know what I mean? You know, and instead of listening just to Gustus Pablo, now you can make a tune like Gustus Pablo because Nick had a melodica.
Right.
Fucking hell, he could be like Gustus Pablo. I used to call him Gustus Barnett. You know, the off license. As a joke, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was it. Wow. Then I started discovering these other people like Dread and Fred. I remember going to Shuck and heard his first tune he played was Warrior Stance. And the tune was totally and utterly digital. There was no melodica, nothing live about it all.
Yeah.
But
It's drum and bass, isn't it? And
but it's all done on a keyboard.
Yeah.
There's no like live guitar or
that's
live
right,
bass.
All digital, yeah.
It's just pure digital, and I thought, flipping it, that tune's a wicked tune, you know what I mean?
That's the first tune I heard Manasseh. I remembered them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Wicked tune.
All right. Let's have a quick break, and we'll be back after these messages. This episode was brought to you by Reality Sound System and Alpha Bravo Films.
So the career is really kicking off. Stepping Time, Can't Touch Ya. First tunes.
Yeah, the first one, like I say, Stepping Time. And I remember the first time I heard Chaka play it was in Dingwalls.
Okay.
That must have been a buzz.
Mate, I was shit myself.
Really?
Why?
Because it's fucking scary, mate.
Right.
You got this record, right? That I've never put a record out in my life. Okay, and now you're going to see Shaka at Dingwalls. I think it was the last dance at Dingwalls before they locked it down and knocked it down and rebuilt it.
Right.
And it was packed solid. People was climbing through the windows to get in that place. You know what I mean? The next thing I heard is, and I thought, I know that I fucking know, it's my tune. It's like, whoa. I felt everyone was looking at me.
Right.
But obviously there wasn't. But I was like,
yeah.
fucking hell, I hope they like it. And I was really, really scared. But it was a great thing, you know what I'm saying? And
How did they receive it?
people loved it.
Yeah.
Well, Shaka in it. Everyone was jumping around or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was great. It was great, man.
capture that moment, put it in a
It was.
bottle, and put it on sale.
It was wicked. That was like, to me, that was like, well, Shaka plays it, that's it.
Yeah.
That's your pinnacle.
Yeah,
that was your mountain. If he played it, then
You've arrived.
you've arrived. You can retire now. That's it. You've done it. You've got you. That was your mission.
Yeah.
If you're making any dub tune back in them days, your ideal thing is if someone like Shaka plays it, that's it, mate.
And
You're
can we
laughing.
just take time to big up and show love and respect
Yes.
for the father of Sound
Yeah,
System,
man.
and
The real governor.
the real governor? Do you know what I mean?
Proper.
Proper.
An inspiration to a lot
Everyone.
Of
It
people,
weren't for him. He
do you
wouldn't.
know what I mean?
Most people wouldn't be doing it.
because he played
Yeah.
enough of my works and enough of everybody's works.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, man. He was the proper governor.
Yeah, Shaka was definitely part of the fabric of everybody's life.
Oh,
whether
but
you
in the
were
dub
into
scene, he's
dub or
like
anything.
the blueprint.
Yeah.
If you go to any dance now in Europe or anywhere, any dub scene, I guarantee you, there's certain points in there. Shaka done that. He started that. And every time you hear that,
and
it's Shaka.
Well, you saw the outpouring of love when he passed. It
Oh, mate, yeah.
made even the Guardian and everybody.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Oh, right and all, mate. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Give him his flowers.
Actually,
man.
he should have been on news at 10.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Really and truly.
Should have been.
A guy like in his stature, you know what I mean?
A building block.
I think
in the
he was on the main
subculture.
BBC News in the
Okay.
evening at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
He was on it,
You know, he's
and he deserved that, man, because
he's
he
the
was
governor,
like
mate.
a pioneer.
Yeah.
Definitely a pioneer. He's the only guy sound that played everything minor key.
Yeah,
There's no other sound you can trace back in history
Yeah.
that only played minor key roots music.
yeah.
That's it. He didn't play no
King David style, he called it.
King
innit?
David style.
That was his
You can listen to
style.
Cox and Fat Man, all them tapes back in the day, and I guarantee you they'll bust an OK Fred
Yeah,
or a Lover's Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Or something like in between, just
Nice
to-
happy
so the
major
girls could
chords.
dance with the boys, have a grind or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Shaka didn't bollocks all that
No,
bollocks.
no.
He was like, wallop,
And it.
take this. Do, 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 do.
You know what?
Yeah.
And the kids loved it.
So last year, the first every time.
And you
That
know
was
what? I think they created the word enigma from a man like Shaka.
Yeah,
Shaka's the
yeah.
only man you could go somewhere and
Yeah.
stand up for the first hour, and Shaka don't touch no BS yet.
No,
Yeah.
that's right,
And you're just sitting down looking at your watch, going, "I'm getting hungry."
Bruv, that's after he turned up 2 hours late.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then when the bass come, but that's it, bro. You
He
gone.
just strolled in like nothing happened.
I know.
I wanted to ask that. Well,
Yeah. I'll play the whole half of an album.
mate.
Ain't it?
A Bob Marley or
Yeah.
something.
Bruv, I see that in France.
Yeah.
Shaka come in with like 2,000, 3,000 tunes, bruv.
Yeah.
On Bob Marley Exodus.
Yeah.
Like the whole
Play
A
it,
side.
yeah, yeah.
And then the whole B side.
Yeah.
And everyone clapped. in
Exactly.
between every
Yeah.
tune. And I was like, brethren, only you could do that.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No other selector could do
Unique.
that.
No, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it.
Only you.
So
So
props
give
to the
thanks.
man, King David.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
to Shaka.
For real.
Every time. So after that, now you were basically utilizing other people's places and studios. When did you
Yes.
start harboring the idea of doing your own thing?
Well, the opportunity came again. Nick then moved from Dalston and he went up to Camden, and he was in his basement in his house, and he bought a new studio. He bought an 8-track. He bought a Tascam 8-track, Soundcraft Spirit. He bought a Proteus keyboard, sound module.
all right.
He bought an Atari 1040. He had an Oberheim drum machine,
Wow.
Okay.
DMX, and basically the 4-track was in the corner, doing nothing.
See?
So I'm thinking, cha-ching! I bought it off him. I paid him 300 quid for it.
All right.
You know what I mean? And that was it. I never looked back. I never went back to Nick after that either, to be honest. Not that I didn't
Never
want
looked
her.
back. Never came back.
Not that I didn't want her, because you know what I mean. Went for Nick, I wouldn't have had a clue.
Yeah, exactly.
I never had no idea about engineering
Yeah,
or
I was
anything.
going to ask you that. about-
Everything I learned by myself
On
or
job.
by looking at Nick
Yeah.
Yeah.
or by
So
listening.
he was one of the first inspirations for you then?
He was the
in
guy
that-
who gave me the keys to the door.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here's how you do it.
Okay, the
When I saw
gatekeeper.
that 4-track, I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mate, I could be scientist. I could be King Tut or Lee Perry.
Right.
If you want to be Lee Perry, get a phaser.
Yeah, isn't it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing that used to mash us up was we couldn't get that
See.
sound.
Yeah.
For years, I was, how does he do that sound? King Tubby. You know, when you get,
Yeah.
Parametric.
Parametric.
I don't know, I couldn't figure it out for years.
Parametric, bro.
Now you can buy them now, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
cloned them.
Yeah.
But at the time, that was like, wow. It's like Twilight Zone.
Twilight.
When you put
Zone.
them King Tubbies on, when you did that, it was like
Yeah. Yeah.
Twilight Zone.
And
mate.
you're always trying to sort of emulate the sound that's out there because it's so
Yeah.
real and authentic.
Yeah. That was it, mate. And like I say, I bought the 4-track off him.
Right.
I set it up at my mate Nigel's house, who was a musician.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically, I went and bought a keyboard. I bought a Yamaha DX21, which I still got to this day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I bought a Roland JX3P.
Okay.
Which is because basically he told me that this is from Nick. He goes, if you want to use on bass, you get an analog keyboard,
Yes.
Yeah.
not a digital keyboard.
Yeah.
Diego would swear by that.
I'd say, well, analog is digital. What's it's still digital, isn't it? He goes, no,
but analog's got a different sound.
circuitry, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
more heavier.
Yeah.
So this Roland GX3P, basically, you can program your own bass. You had a little programmer thing there, so you can get this right good sub bass out of it.
Right.
And that's all I used it for was bass. And the DX was like
Rhythm.
for the chops and all that.
So when you first started your own thing with self-production, did people start gravitating towards you?
Well,
artists?
not at first, because obviously I had to learn. Remember, I left Nick there, so everything I had to do now, I couldn't say to Nick, well, make us a drum pattern. So I had to learn how to program drums.
Right.
And I bought a thing called a HR16 Alesis drum machine.
Okay.
A big old grey thing like that. And it only had like 2 snare stands, 1 rim shot, some toms, and 2 bass drums.
Basic.
And I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Right.
So I knew this drummer guy, a friend of mine, and I took around. You know, tune Jaja is my light, Jaja.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I've got a drum machine. I want to make drums like this.
See.
He goes, well, you got to do the quant. I go, what's quantize? What's all this?
Yeah.
What's all that? It was like my brain was going, and he just showed me. And he said, oh, okay. And I used to go and practice making these drum patterns on the thing.
Right.
See.
Then I would do 5, you'd have like a song, and you
In a
insert these
sequence.
patterns. Yeah. So I do an intro for the roll.
That's right.
Right. Then like 8 bars of just straight. Then a roll there just to bring it. So I'd map it all out.
Signatures. Yeah.
Some of the tunes was only 2 minutes long because I didn't realise how long
A tune was supposed
a
to be.
tune was supposed to be. So what I used to do, I used to rewind it and splice it and make it longer. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know. You know, it was all like learn.
Yes.
And because Nigel was a
But that's
musician,
interesting though that you said splicing because like that's an original format in the
definitely.
recording industry. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
definitely.
We have to splice tape and things.
like if
know
you
what
buy
I
a
mean?
12-inch in them days, it was spliced.
Yeah.
Because no tune was 12 minutes long.
Well, the disco mix you're talking
disco
about.
mix,
yeah.
yeah.
They splice
Right.
it, yes.
And I think Jamaica was the first people to invent the disco mix,
Right.
12-inch. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And Lee Perry was splicing in his mixes as well.
Yeah,
He used to
definitely.
do it all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Coxon was the most outrageous one.
Right.
You could buy a Studio 1 12-inch and halfway through, you just skip into the next track.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's a bit of a dodgy splice. Because you know, Studio 1, it wasn't the best quality.
Yeah.
It's always snap, crackle, and pop.
Adds to the character.
Add to the character.
For real.
And when you got the label, all the things were spelt wrong, or they was printed wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Some would have their
Off-centre.
names spelled 3 different ways.
Yeah, exactly. All these kind of, but that's what I liked.
Yeah.
It was like do it yourself.
Authentic, innit?
Yeah, it was like it wasn't a big record company bollocks. It was one guy. He's got his own little studio.
Yeah.
He could do what he wants. You know what I mean? And release music. And if people liked it or not, well, that's you know what I mean. He hasn't got to answer to no one. You know what I mean?
So after
That's the thing that I like.
Step in Time and Can't Touch Jar, what was your next like?
Next one was Original Formula, Danny Redd.
Okay.
Yeah, I met Danny Redd. I met him previously in a place called Youth Sounds. Remember
Okay.
Youth Sounds? Peppy Shop?
Yeah, Peppy. Yeah.
In Shrag Green Road. Quaff Records.
Oh, yeah.
Freeman was down there.
Freeman was
yeah.
down there. We used to work there.
Chaz used to be around there still, innit?
I think Chaz knew Freeman, so he popped in
Right.
there and there. But I used to go there all the time because
Yeah.
one of the reasons I used to like going there,
Ever used to go there.
he used to have an 18-inch speaker
Okay.
in the shop.
Right.
Right. So I'm mixing all these tunes at home and I want to go and play them
Like it's on a sound.
like it's on a sound. You know what I mean? So I used to go and take my tapes around there and Freeman used to go, oh, you know, and he'd go, that one was good and whatever. You know, it's just an idea how it sounded.
See.
And that's basically that's when I first met Danny Redd.
Yeah, so Danny Redd. you were
Yeah,
saying.
so I met Danny, like I say, in Youth Sounds Records or Quaff Records, run by Peppy back in the day. And we just decided he would do a tune for me, basically, down Manassas.
And where was your studio based at this time?
At the time, I didn't have my studio. This was still doing it at Nick's.
Ah.
You know what I mean? That was my third single, which was, like I say, Original Formula, which wasn't really as steppers as the other one. It was more like Gussie Clark.
Okay.
Remember Gussie Clark in the 90s? He was making rumours and all them kind of things.
Yeah.
And Nick was very much influenced by him.
Okay.
He used the same kind of keyboard sounds and drum machines. And so I went with that with Nick, you know what I mean? And that was pretty successful.
Right, yeah.
And that was really the last tune I think I released, I done with Nick. After that, it was all with me and Nigel.
Right.
And another guy called Chris who was a trombone player.
Okay.
And our first project was Son of Moon, Tenor Stelling.
Okay.
Because I knew Tenor from before, when I mixed Can't Touch after him and I put it out, you know what I'm saying? We got to be friends, etc. You know what I mean? And he'd already done the LP for Manasseh.
Right.
You know what I mean? With Jot Equity, all them kind of tunes on it, you know what I mean? Which is a wicked LP back in the day.
Right.
So we did an LP with him. And that was it, really. Just carried on from there, man. Made an LP with him. That done pretty well. That was all done on a 4-track. If you listen to it now, it sounds pretty thin.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, because obviously it was recorded onto a cassette. And then,
So where would you say you established yourself first as a studio?
I suppose I mean, I used to have a studio because after a while Nigel got cheesed off.
Right.
I was always going around his house.
Okay.
He was in his bedroom, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I wanted because I would be in the studio all day long, mate. I loved it, you know what I mean? It's like a new toy. So I would always press him and go around and he goes, I can't take it no more. So then I basically
So yeah, you mean say you was willing to mash up the man love life just for music?
mate, I didn't care. I was so determined. I was
Well
on
done.
such a track. I was so determined to, you know what I mean? Because things were starting to look up. Was actually
Yeah,
people were actually buying records and saying you can earn a couple of quid out of it, which wasn't bad. You know what I mean? So then I put the 4-track in me stairway in me flat in Stamford Hill.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you come down the stairs, there's a little bit of thing there, so the 4-track there. I even had Danny Red voice in it on the stairs.
Stop it.
You know what I mean? This went on for a few months and I said, this really can't work.
Right.
So basically, I was lucky. I had a loft in my house that obviously no one had ever been up there. I looked in there and I realised how big it was up there.
Right.
You know, look at the
Okay.
size of this place. Then I had a builder friend of mine who does a load of building work. I said to him, look, how much would it be if I put all floorboards down? Do you know what I mean? And make a shoot up there. And he went up there and goes, well, the problem you got is the floorboards, if you start walking them now, all your plaster's going to crack.
Right.
He said, what you got to do, you got to build a false floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically you got these big RJS bars, steel bars,
RSJs, yeah.
RSJs.
and put one end,
Joyce.
Yeah.
and just put 2 new joists in, and built a whole
On top
floor
of that.
on top of that, plasterboarded up all the wood. And next thing you know, I got a loft that you had to climb up this little ladder to get into.
That's the only
You
thing.
know what I mean? It's a bit mad. Some people couldn't do it because you had to go up this little ladder. I remember Sister Rashida come round, she goes, you can't be serious, I can't come up there. I said, boy, that's the studio, man. She's go, are you sure? She's like, you know, she's like a big woman, you know what I mean? It's like, fucking, up this little ladder. She was like, oh, I can't do it. And anyway, she did. So yeah, that was it really. Once that studio was in my house built, that was it. I never left that room for ages.
Okay.
That really started the birth of people like the Bush
Conscious
Chemists.
Sounds.
Well, Conscious Sounds was already out from there.
Right.
But this is like I say, it's got a Pepe's, Quaff, and Freeman was always there. And Freeman was saying to me, look, I've got this, my friend of mine, his name is Chaz, and he's a keyboard player, and he loved to make dub stuff. And I said, all right, look, just come round, bring him round and live round to my house. You know what I mean? And he turned up with Chaz, and we just knock up tunes in the loft.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? And then I said, Chaz, look, we should release some of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we got half each, whatever, pay for the money,
Yeah.
and start making tunes.
Yeah.
And this same time, there was this company down Tottenham. What's it called? SRD.
SRD.
Right?
Yes.
It was a big distribution company.
Yeah.
And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to go down there, take my records down there, see the guy down there, see if he would take them. You know what I mean? Try and get into any more markets. You know what I mean? Because in them days, remember, when you're selling a record them days, this is what I had to do. I get my bag of records in my car, right?
I'm going to be the hardest salesman.
Exactly like that. Exactly like that. First place I'll go and check Lee down M&D
Yeah.
and say, Lee, it was always salary return.
Yes.
You give him like a box of 25. It's all right, Lee. Then you go and see Eddie Regal,
Yeah.
buy the music.
Yeah. Fits.
Then I'll go down Dub Vendor. Dub Vendor used to laugh at me. He's, Rude boy, what are you doing? Dub's finished. It's 1989, 1990. Dub finished in 1980, mate. Because by that time, no one was taking it. They used to laugh at us, mate. This is old shit. It's Bogle's in, because that time Bogle was in,
Innit?
all that was in, you know what I mean?
Dancehall.
Dub was done, mate.
Dancehall,
It was
yeah,
like, what are you cracking? They used to laugh at us, mate. But I said, whatever, anyway. So we kept going, you know what I'm saying? And like, I used to go Jetstar and Fat Shadow, go see Mr. Palmer.
Yes.
Again, SOR. No one ever give you cash for your records.
Yeah. So
It was always leave 2 boxes there,
Yep.
and then come back next week. You know what I mean? The thing that pissed me off about Jetstar is you give them 2 boxes, and if it's sold out, they never phoned you up and said it's sold out.
Yeah.
Come on,
bring
bring
So
some
I go
more,
down there
innit?
on a Friday, and I look on the floor, because didn't they? Tunes all on the floor.
Everywhere.
All on the floor, all the new releases lined up like that.
Right.
All the record shop man needs to go and pick one out, play it, and decide what they're going to take. And I remember, where's my record? Oh, it's sold out. I said, look, you could have told me. I could have bought you some 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? I used to get annoyed.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to get money out of him. That's
Oh.
come back in 2 hours. I said, Mr. P, I just drove from Hackney, right? What am I going to do for 2 hours? Sit outside in the car? Can't you just sort me out now? And he sent the accountant guy up, a little Indian guy, innit? And he needs to give me a check. I go, all right, Mr. Nice one.
Right.
And that was it, really. That's how hard it was.
It was a hustle for
It
real.
was a hustle,
innit?
mate. There was no distributors who would even want to take
real.
dub.
Innit?
Not reggae, let alone dub. I mean, remember, dub is like a little branch of reggae.
Yeah, it's like a niche. It was a
Exactly.
niche thing then,
And
yeah.
the same thing is like reggae started to get a bad name for itself when you know,
Yeah.
when it went from Rasta to dancehall and whatever.
Well, you got all the yardie business in it in the 90s.
it kind of changed. Drugs
All the-
became involved, and it was a
Yeah, the
whole
crack
different
attack.
scene.
I remember the turning point. I remember Sandgent Road. 1 year it was full of Rastas selling weed. Next thing it was ballheads selling crack. And then when you were trying to buy weed, you ain't getting no big fucking bookie slip full of it like you used to. Now you're getting a little bag, and it's all grinded out. Remember they used to grind it out, obviously to get more out of it.
Yeah, and flatten it. Take the air
Yeah.
out and flatten it so it looks like
And it was
there's
like
nothing.
£10
Man, lamb
raw.
spread.
Is that it for a tenner?
Yeah, that was it. Whereas
Fucking needs to be.
before he used to go there, he managed to get a big fucking brown bag
Innit?
like that, big bag of it. What do you
Bookie
want?
slip, boy.
5 as well.
Innit?
Get some tea, mate. Get some tea. Oh,
Innit?
boy. Come back to me when you come back. Come back to me.
Yeah,
Remember
make
me.
sure you
Remember
know.
me. Remember me.
My old.
Yeah. See, but that off Finsbury Park Tavern. That was another one we
the
used to
good
go
old
to.
days.
Down the tavern, man.
You run the risk, man. Farmella was running hot.
Wow.
Yeah. It was good days, man. Good days, man. Good laugh.
They were.
You know what I mean? And yeah,
Mad.
just carried on from there, man. Basically, after the Tennyson in, I did Sun and Moon, not the Thunder Mountain LP. Started all the stuff with Chaz. Like I say, went to SRD. Then SRD, all of a sudden, now they started to take an interest in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Saying, oh, we kind of like this stuff. I always thought it was. Because just before we kind of the dub thing come back, Jungle would hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, all the original nutters. Original nutter. Which to me, it was like Tennyson singing over a Studio One tune with a fast breakbeat in it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Then all them other ones, Ricky, and all them jungle hits was coming out, and he just went bananas.
Innit?
And all of a sudden, that kind of dark was dying down a bit. And SRD wanted to capitalise on that. They thought was the new jungle, the new thing for the young kids.
Right.
And they thought it might be dub.
Right.
So they started this label called Dubhead,
Yeah.
right? And basically, they just said to us, like, we want to, like, put your music out. You know what I mean? I thought, okay, fair enough, you know what I mean? And pay us a bit of money. Not a lot of money, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that was the thing that got us into Europe.
Okay.
I was going to ask about that.
That's the thing,
forays.
That's the thing, because he had distributed all over Europe.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he sent us on our first tour. I think it was Bush Chemist, Disciples, and Armageddon, who was from Bristol. A guy called Gaffer. Remember Gaffer? He sang around with Tubbies. He was
Okay.
from Bristol back in the day. But yeah, that was it, man. That was really the start. And we used to do like loads of shows over there. To 3 people in the dance, 4 people. There was no one there. No one was really interested.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we kept persevering. Dubhead kept releasing the stuff, and it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
You could argue that the thriving scene that's in Europe now is really down to a man like yourselves.
We are.
If you weren't
Well,
there
some people might say that,
persevering.
but yeah, I think it's definitely had an impact. No two ways about it.
Because even when the music changed and it was going dancehall, it was going
Yeah.
jungle, you just stayed in your lane and just
Yeah,
did what you
to
did.
be honest,
what you
I
loved.
really like Jungle. I thought Jungle was the most original
Yeah.
thing I've ever heard
Yeah.
when it first came out, because it was totally
Yeah.
original.
It was different.
I've never heard anything like it in my life. Lord of mercy, Lord of mercy.
Yeah.
You'd have Saxon,
That's some mad
right?
line.
Someone sampled a Saxon tape, innit?
Yeah.
Hey, dimmy, sound boy, you're gonna get mashed up.
Yeah.
Innit?
Whoa. It's homeboy, what? It's like, wow.
We were saying about the dubhead and Europe and how.
Yeah,
it was-
definitely. Dubhead was the thing that opened the doors. I definitely think for us in Europe. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because really and truly, in England, people weren't really interested. Apart from
Yeah.
the people who used to go Shaka and Manasseh, or by now you had Abashanti come along and you had Iration as well.
Yeah.
That was the other sounds. That was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The new sound.
What was Rusty's sound called?
Boom Shakalaka?
Boom Shakalaka. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He come like, he started making it. I see him a couple of times. Once down Southall
Right, yeah.
against Abashanti.
Abba, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he
Got blown away, innit?
Yeah, he got battered. Like a cod in the chip shop.
Yeah.
Battered.
Oh dear.
Same thing happened to me. I played against Joe, I think, in Southend once.
Okay.
On Jim's side. Remember Jim?
Yeah, Jim, yeah. Everyone know Jim.
And it was like, I had bad feelings about it. I mean, you know, I thought he's going to batter me like again, like a cod in the chip shop. And he did, basically. It was like it was like baptism of fire.
Okay.
Take your beating and go home.
Ouch.
You know what I mean? Because by that time, well, you know Joe's good he's on as a sound man, you know what I mean? Plus, yeah, Tubby's hi-fi at the time. I think
Yeah, Tubby's whole sound, innit, for real.
And it was, I had Jim's made up boxes, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's no way I was going to compete with him, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's life experience, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? You can only learn from getting beat up.
Hey, those are the harshest but the best lessons.
You remember, Joe's been going with Tubby's for years, so he's an expert at what he does.
Yeah.
He's an expert at being a soundman. You know what I mean? He's soundman in his sleep. You know what I mean? There's certain people that are born to do certain things. Like Hendrix is born to play guitar.
Right.
I can learn to play guitar all day long, but I'm never going to be as good as him.
Right.
They've got something inside them that is just natural.
Organic.
And certain selectors are just natural at doing
Yes.
that, and that's what they can do that in their sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So having your own studio, like
Yeah.
your own established, like fully functioning studio. I mean, you're something of an autodidact. By the way, that's our word of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know what it means.
Yeah. It's
sure
it's all right. You can get penicillin for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for the listeners and the viewers, what does it mean?
Autodidact, somebody who is self-taught.
Okay, fair enough.
And most of us, we've just got that. That's natural for us,
Yeah.
isn't it? To teach ourselves.
Well,
You
we did
didn't
have
go
a-
to school to learn that. You learned it yourself.
I never know. I mean, let's be realistic. If you was a young kid and you said you wanted to learn to be a studio engineer, where would you go? You don't teach you at school, do they? You either got to start at the bottom and
T-boy.
as a T-boy, or
Yeah.
back in the days, call it a tape hop.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You say your job would be rewind that tape,
Right.
press that tape,
See.
play,
Yeah.
get the tea from the shop, go and buy the fags, etc.
Yeah.
Go for.
Yeah,
And hopefully you might get one day a chance to go on a mixer
Yeah.
or do something else, you know. But like you say, it's all
with the
we've
reverbs.
all done it
So
ourselves.
trial and error, hours and hours, burning the midnight oil,
Yeah, just
weeks and
well,
weeks
it was-
and months
The
and
thing
months.
is, it didn't feel like work because it was fun.
No, of course not.
It's something
Passion,
I like to
innit?
do. It was like, mate, this ain't work. This is having a laugh.
I remember once we got it was a Simpty unit
Yeah,
for
a
the
couple of tapes.
8-track. Yeah, and it took, no one knew how to work it.
nightmare.
And it took about, what was it, about a month?
Yeah.
It
Nah,
took
it
a
weren't that
month
long, no.
trial and error, and I was not going to give up.
What did you have, a
until I
Fostex?
cra-
No,
it was
Tascam 8-track.
No, it was a
TRS-R8.
Soundcraft. Suffice to say, learning,
Yeah.
knowing that you had to conquer the learning curve.
And you have to put it on 16 or 1 on the tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise it'll bleed through.
Oh, it's 1 or
yeah.
8. Yeah. It was always channel 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, come on now. It was a crazy thing, but I know
Nightmare.
what it is. But you get bloody minded to the point where I'm gonna learn to do this, and I'm gonna, and then all of those times you stub your toe. That's what kind of it strengthens your resolve, and it
No,
makes you a
definitely.
better engineer or better
No,
guitarist
it does.
or whatever.
And then 5 years later, you finally got a load of these tapes with just voices on them. And you can't find the MIDI to go with it.
Yeah.
That used to piss me off. In the end, I ended up buying a 16-track so I could bounce all the tracks onto the tape.
Yes.
So I not have to simpty it up, because that was a flipping nightmare.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was go wrong. Our worst thing, you get a dropout on the tape, because the tapes drop out.
Oh yeah.
So you offer for the track, and it would lose
Yeah.
sync.
Yeah.
What happened? I drop out on the tape. You have to record the whole syncty track again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it
I'm
would
glad them days are over. in that
It would
respect.
help if you made a good solid recording of
Yeah.
the Simpty, but the other side, like you said, there's going to be spillage on track 7.
Yeah, it was a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
But again, it made you learn. And I like I said, I learned on a 4-track.
Yeah.
You know, and I was in my loft. I mean, after about 2 or 3 years in my loft, I got cheesed off being there because I never went out. I'd get up in the morning, have some breakfast, and go upstairs.
Yeah.
It felt like I never left my house.
Yeah.
And in the end, it started affecting
Got a bit
mentally.
mundane.
Yeah, I think it's just like
Cabin fever.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was then. I remember going down, just driving around Shackwell Lane, around there looking for somewhere
Okay.
to rent, and I seen this property. Like I said, the first down Shackwell Lane. In them days, it was a shithole.
Yeah.
All around there was prostitutes, crackheads.
Yes,
It weren't like it is now, gentrified and nice.
Yeah.
It was a shithole. No one
lovely
wanted to
now.
go around there. So I see this old building, and I managed to get it for 400 quid a month.
And it.
A whole building, like 2 floors. You know what I mean? And lucky enough, downstairs was a studio already, that somebody had previously.
Oh, okay.
So there was this big drum booth already
Vocal
built.
booth, yeah.
So that was like, hey, I'm having this.
Yeah.
So I moved in there. I got a lodger upstairs, which I paid. He paid like 300 quid. So I was only paying like £100 a month.
Wow.
I was fucking laughing. And basically, I was there for 10 years. And I produced
Good life.
untold tons of tracks
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time I came to your studio as well.
down there.
Yeah.
And then now, if you went to that same place, it's probably about £4 a month.
Believe.
You know what I mean?
And
So, yeah,
for real.
that's when I had to move to Tubbies.
It just shows the dedication, you know. You know what? They see
Well,
you. They see you doing what you do, and
Yeah.
they don't realize the hours.
Oh, it's loads of hours.
Yeah.
But you know what was always the main thing that made me do it? What else am I going to do?
Right.
Go work in a building site again.
Sainsbury's is still
Dick trick,
hiring. They held your
exactly.
job. They held your job.
Exactly. That was the only other option. There was no option.
I ain't gonna lie, it's hard out there job wise now, you know.
Yeah,
Seriously.
definitely.
The market is like, you know,
It's
like,
not
tough,
easy, man.
You know what I mean? So,
And I didn't want to do that. Fuck that. I want to get up 6 o'clock in the morning, go work and building site, dig trench. Fuck that. I want to get up at 9
Get up
o'clock,
and play
go
music.
studio by 11, maybe work till 7 or 8 in the evening. That's it. Done. You know what I mean? Sometimes the money was shit. I used to work all week. Sometimes I'd get like fucking 100 quid.
Yeah.
But then the next week I'll earn like 600 quid.
Right.
The money was so like up and down.
Yeah.
You never know what's coming through your door. And then you have people that was your mates and that you've recalled from and you do it like cheap and all that, you know what I'm saying? And all these things come into play, you know what I'm saying? Remember, you're doing it yourself.
Yeah.
I have no backing from any company. No one's paying me no money. So if I didn't earn no money, I didn't get no money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And in the meantime, I still have to pay my missus money to run the house.
Yeah.
Kids, you know what I mean? Old banger car. That's why I still drive old bangers now. Because in them days, you could buy a car for £200, innit?
Ain't it?
Your
Yep.
car broke down, oh, fuck it, scrap it, 30 quid.
Well, as long as the studio is working, don't matter about the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get your priorities right.
Well, this is it, bro.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So everything really was done on a budget, within
Yeah.
our budget. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're never going to sound like a big, massive pop studio with great
Yeah.
big sound,
Yeah.
SSL desk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All my desks was like second hand from the 1990s or 1980s.
Yeah.
That had to be like polished up or fixed up, you know what I mean? Always breaking down.
You're coming from that Motown
Yeah.
school of recording where it's a bit
Analog,
wonky,
innit?
but it adds character.
Yeah, because we had no choice. That was what we had. Those were the tools we had available.
Exactly.
Remember, this is before digital.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
going
yeah.
on to tape. There was none of this computer like where you can just loop something for like 4 bars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You had to either play it
from
live
top
to
to
tape.
bottom.
Yeah, really. So
mean-
it was. You had the tools, and that's it.
But,
You worked with
but
what
there's
you
that
did.
discipline as well, isn't it? I mean, with the computers now, I mean, you have total recall. So you go to bed, you wake
Yeah.
up the next day, it's exactly
Yeah.
the same as you
Yeah.
left it.
Yeah.
Whereas you'd have to literally know your onions, as it were.
Yeah.
Or your scallion,
Innit?
and sort
Pimento.
of bring it back, you know what I mean, from scratch.
Definitely, man.
For real.
So let me just ask you some random questions.
Go
right?
for it,
Just
mate.
So the people, yeah, okay. What's your best characteristic or your best quality?
I suppose my sense of humour.
Gets you through the day.
Yeah, I think it's nice to be nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have a laugh, you know what I mean? What's the point of being moany all the time?
So you're more of an optimist than a
Yeah,
pessimist.
yeah, definitely. I am an optimist, definitely. I have a laugh. If you can't have a laugh or a joke, man, come on, what's the point?
Ain't it?
It makes,
No point in being miserable all the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about your worst quality, your worst character?
Impatience.
Impatience.
Okay, yeah.
Just like me.
I can't. I think I've got some
Hurry up.
ADHD.
No, sorry.
Oh, yeah, hurry up, hurry up. I think I've got some ADHD or some bollocks like that.
Okay.
Because I find if I have to concentrate on something for too long,
You lose interest.
I lose interest in it. And my brain can't handle it.
Yeah.
I was going to say that about school, you know, when you said you had trouble at school.
Yeah, it
And,
probably
you know,
is.
now they would diagnose it as either
Yeah.
ADHD
Yeah, maybe.
or...
You'd have been on, not the spectrum of roots, you've just been on a
Yeah,
spectrum.
Just on the spectrum,
maybe.
spectrum of roots.
I've never been analysed, but I definitely got a problem with. I can't when it comes to writing. You know, when you write a letter, I can't-
Dyslexia.
I can do it, but
Because that's another thing they didn't know about back in the day.
yeah.
dyslexia.
I don't think I'm dyslexic because I can read. Dyslexia
Right.
is when you can't read things right properly. Is that right?
Well, you have, there's levels.
Yeah, it's reading and writing as well.
Yeah.
But I know when I write a letter, I'll do it so fast. In the end, my handwriting looks like scribble.
Right, right.
And if I just sit down and go, do it nice and neat. I used to watch people write and I just go, Look how neat and tidy it is. Why can't I do that? I can do it. I'll start off.
Maybe you should have been a doctor.
Then I go like, and by the time I got to the end of it, I'm going, I have no
I got the
patience.
patience to be neat.
That is one of my downsides, I think. Definitely.
Here's another question for you. What advice would you give to your younger self? If you could travel back in time, you're 24,
Don't take
25.
hard drugs or all that madness.
Right.
Seriously, mate.
Yeah.
I was got mashed up in the 80s.
Right.
It was a really bad time in my life where I got mashed up on hard drugs for like 3 years.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was nearly homeless, sleeping in Dalston bus shelter.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I see a lot of people mashed up in that stuff.
No, people
Dead.
didn't come back.
Yeah. All the heroin and shit, man. Because in the 80s, there was a big spurge of it.
Yeah, that was.
You know what I mean? And they never told us. We used to smoke weed and, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, do other drugs, recreate. And all of a sudden, this stuff come along, and these guys go, oh, yeah, it's called smack. What'd you do? You chase it on a dragon.
Yeah.
Let's have a go. Fucking hell, mate. That was it.
Yeah,
I was hooked. For 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
It was shit, man. Really,
And
truly.
after that,
You just-
all the party drugs, seeing the ecstasy and all that stuff.
I never got into that, because by that time that
you'd
come,
cleansed by then.
I done all that shit. So
Right.
you know what?
Been
all
there.
I'm doing now is smoking weed, cigarettes, and booze.
Yeah.
I ain't taking none of that ease or ups or downs.
What saved you from that, Doug?
You know, really was a lot of time is music, because I used to like to say at the time when I tried to come off it, the only way I could come off it was get rid of all my mates,
Right.
Because everyone I know was on it.
Yeah.
And the worst thing was, like, I remember my mum and dad going to me, send him to Spain for 2 weeks, he'll be right when he comes back. They sent me to Spain, I was out there fucking clucking like chicken. You know what I mean? By the 2 weeks up now, as soon as I got off the airplane, get some gear, get some
Yeah,
gear.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It was really music. I used to go to my mate Little John's house, and we used to have music since we was kids. And he started getting me back into the music, and that's when he started to take me to like Manassa and that as well.
Right.
And that took me away from
Okay.
what you have to have. When you're coming off anything hard like that, you have to have another focus for you to focus on. Because if you haven't got nothing else to focus on, you're just going to drift back
Yeah,
into that.
and it's the fear of missing out, that if you have nothing to focus on, then you go
Yeah.
back to what you know. And what
Exactly.
you know is your peer group, what he gets up to.
Even now, when you strike a match, and I smell that sulphur,
Right.
Okay.
I think of gear.
Yeah,
See, even to this day.
That association.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tin foil, man. Jimmy Boyle, we used to call it.
Jimmy Boyle.
Get Jimmy Boyle out. Used to
So
get the brand on it.
Yeah.
Right, you know.
There you
And
go.
I see some people I knew progressed and started jacking it up.
Stop it.
And lucky enough, I never went down that route, because when that started doing that, then AIDS come out. Remember AIDS?
Yeah.
I was like,
And the
fucking lucky I didn't
needles.
start to get needle business, man.
Most of the reasoning behind that is because they say it was a far more economical way to get high.
Oh, you got mashed up, right?
Yeah, because there's no wastage.
Yeah,
it's
right.
all going in.
Yeah, but you get more real, innit?
Boy, that's really, it's really.
That's when you
real.
get proper ill. When you come, when we used to get ill, I used to feel like you had a cold or a bad flu.
How people can die from
Exactly. So
withdrawal symptoms.
I'm glad I got out of it. I was lucky, really.
All right, I know this part we were supposed to be talking about on a more positive.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
it's
right.
positive because I come out of it.
Yeah,
so,
No,
yeah.
for real,
All right.
you're showing an example.
Tapping into that, then, what advice would you give to young people in general or specifically around
In music?
Yeah.
I think in music, I think right now, get a job, do music on the side, right, as a hobby, and continue with it. And if you bust or get something out of it, then you venture into it.
Is that what you wish you would have done?
Well, again, the climate's not the same as what it used to be. Everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, is making music now because you
True
can.
that.
You do
So
not need
generic,
any
innit?
musical experience whatsoever to make a tune now.
It's funny you say that. I was in a Zoom call earlier on, and a young person is doing really well. He's had his issues, and he's been going to a recording studio. And the therapist person said that he mentioned a particular studio that he went to, and it was asking me if I know the studio. And I said, well, there's about 14 million studios
Yeah,
out,
exactly.
and that's just in North London.
Yeah, there is. I mean,
So
that's a
it
good
is-
thing.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? A lot of people think, oh, they can make a tune, it will sell, and I'll be a millionaire. It doesn't work like that. Man. Get a job, do it on the side, you know what I mean? And if it starts getting good, then you can leave your job. You know, always have that as your backup. Same as these footballers, you're about, oh, I earn all these millions of pounds, and next, when they retire 3 years later, they're broke.
Yeah.
They've got nothing to fall back on because all they've done all their life is that. Have something else as well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
If shit hits the fan and it don't work out with that, then you can fall back on that, I suppose.
That's good advice.
You know what I mean?
All right, here's one more for you.
Go on.
And we're just going to round up the show now, and it's
Yeah.
this one. You know, the world's a right messed up place now, right? I can't make sense of it. I ain't even going to try. That's why on this particular show here, we don't talk about certain subjects because
We get
there's
banned.
rabbit holes going down,
Yeah.
joining
Right.
rabbit holes, and we ain't going down.
It's all
no
Alice
damn.
in Wonderland.
Bro, it's worse than that. So,
It kind of is.
with that in mind, it's called like the miracle question. If you woke up in the morning and a miracle happened overnight, and the world was a far better place, how would you know? And
Or I don't know. What do you mean in far better place?
from your perspective, the world's a better place.
Well, for one, there'll be sun shining instead of rain. Because remember, we live in England. And it's always fucking raining or it's cold. I'm waiting for the fucking heat wave they're telling me about, this global warming.
Innit?
He ain't come here, mate. It's
Yeah.
August and it's not even sunny.
It's in southern Spain.
So that'd be nice, sunny weather. Yeah, that'd be great. Everyone's got a bit of money.
Right.
I don't know. It's really hard to say. That's a really hard question, really.
It is. You know
You know
why?
what I mean?
You know why I asked you that is because sometimes one thing we didn't get to touch on was your sort of political persuasion. Are you interested in who's
No, I don't.
running
It's
the
all,
country?
they're all full of shit, mate.
All of them.
Left, wing,
right, and
left
centre.
wing, right wing, fucked a lot. They're all full of shit.
Power to the people.
It's bullshit. Listen, I've been on this earth fucking 59 years, and every politics is the same old shit.
Yep.
In a couple of months' time, we're going to see the same thing. They call it, voting season? And they come out and promise you the most
Everybody
amount of
yep,
shit
yep.
against shit against shit. They'll all be fighting at each other, and they promise that nothing will ever happen.
All right.
All right. There's one more thing before we finish.
Go on.
Tell us a joke, bruv.
Joke.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Give us a joke.
Go
I'm
on.
trying to think of a joke, man.
You said you was a funny guy.
Come on, man.
That's jokes is jokes. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to tell jokes. It can't be too lewd.
Go on, quick
but
one.
we don't mind.
Can I be swearing?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I call my girlfriend. No, is it that one? I can't remember. It's a bad joke. What's it called?
That's the way he tells them.
Innit?
I couldn't stand on stage and go, oh, I'll shit myself. Again, you have to be a certain person to stand on stage
Right.
and tell jokes
Just
or
tell us a
talk.
joke, man.
I'm trying to think.
All right, you want me to give
My wife calls me Thrush.
Really?
She goes, why? Because you're a right irritable cunt.
And on that note,
I've got a next one.
go on.
I've got
Yeah,
a next
we
one.
gotta use
I've got a
that
next
one.
one. 2 birds on a fucking cash out in Tesco. And one bird goes to the other one. I can always tell a single bloke from a married bloke. She goes, how'd you do that? She goes, watch this. This bloke walks over, he goes, 1 egg, 1 beans, 1 bag of crisps. She goes, you're a single bloke, you, aren't you? She goes, how did you know? You're right ugly cunt.
And that's 2 C words and we can't use
But they're funny
neither.
though, isn't it?
Oh, stop it.
That's a funny joke. And you're thinking now, oh, she got some plan. She's an ugly cunt.
I like that. There you go.
Well,
Dougie, man.
They're old school proper jokes, man, from the 70s.
It's been a real blast,
When-
man. It's been a pleasure, bruv.
Yeah, man,
Absolutely.
definitely. Good laugh.